This Porsche 911 is the first car that I've ever bought from another state, another dealer, sight unseen, without ever test driving it. That is not something I would ever recommend anyone do unless you have some kind of a connection with the dealer. But if you're a stupid guy like me, you do stupid things like this. But as I talked about in my first video with this car, check it out if you haven't seen it. This kind of a 911, that stick shift, a 991, is in such high demand, I didn't feel like I could wait any longer. It was incredibly hard to finally get my hands on this and actually end up buying it. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you exactly the kind of 911 I ended up getting. The first thing that I noticed is that the rear tires are worn out. Discount Tire confirmed it for me, so I need to get these replaced. I did ask the dealer about the tires and they did the usual. They told me they were fine. Obviously they're not. Hey, they're just trying to sell a car. If I was gonna wait for the perfect 911 with the perfect tires, brakes, and everything, it would probably take me 100 years. Who has the patience for that? I'm stating the obvious that don't trust everything you hear from a dealer, but then again, I didn't ask that many questions. I wasn't being super picky, knowing the fact that there were 4 other people trying to buy this car at the same time. And I know they weren't lying about that because every dealer that I was trying to buy a stick shift 911 from had the same challenge going on, multiple buyers, everybody trying to get that car. At least I know that when I try to sell this car, there should be many buyers waiting in line. Hopefully I don't have any problem selling it. Luckily, most of the cars showed up as advertised. There are a few problems that I'm going to show you in a bit. But my favorite thing about this car is the dual sport exhaust. This is a base Carrera from 2013, but I'm glad the original buyer selected the sport exhaust as an option to get. One of the things I found the most shocking about this car is how good the exterior is. There's just one small ding. Other than that, excellent paint, excellent shape. No scratches, even though this car has had 6 owners. There's also paint protection film on this car, which is nice. Minimizes some of the chips in the paintwork, especially in this area by the wheels. 59,000 miles, 11 years old. Pretty good, I have to say. With a car like this, you want it to be driven because stuff like this, when it's a garage queen and just sits there, you'll end up with more problems down the road. One thing that you have to get used to with this car is just how low it is to the ground. It's small. My Tesla compared to this car feels like a bus. Constantly getting in and out of this thing takes work. It's not that simple. Every day that I wake up, I hope that I don't have some kind of a back problem because if I do, game over with this 911. One problem that I already knew that happens with the 991s is this door trim starts to come apart. I can't believe Porsche used some homemade glue to manufacture this. That's okay, at least the cup holders still work. Although I have no idea what kind of cup can even fit in this. But in a car like this, you don't need cups. You have this, all set. Another small issue, the fuse panel is missing the cover. Luckily, the clutch, the transmission, the gear shifting, all of that feels fine so far. There's not much storage in here, but the door pocket does extend out, which is convenient. The seats are still in great shape, no tears and not much wear. This is one of my favorite steering wheels. It's perfectly positioned, it's got the right grip, and it has some options of steering wheel controls, which is a nice feature to have. At the very least, volume control is always convenient. In true sports car fashion, the steering wheel doesn't go up or down very much. The way I like it is the steering wheel lowered all the way, perfectly parallel to my seated position, making this the ultimate driver's car. There's a button to raise and lower the spoiler, so let's take a look at that. I'm not sure if I really like the way it looks with this. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment, spoiler up or down. I didn't know this, you have a second brake light in the spoiler. This also has a sunroof, and I don't know if I'm a fan of that either, especially the way this is designed and what the car looks like when the sunroof's completely open. I don't like that the whole panel goes all the way back. It really breaks the lines of the car and takes away from the look. What do you think? Yay or nay? Drop a comment. But I'm not complaining that the car did come with those options because options help with resale value. And in the Porsche, if you didn't have any options, then all these buttons would be blank. A terrible look. This car comes with PASM Porsche's air suspension, but I'll tell you what, the Sport Plus is incredibly rough, only for the track. Sport is about as much as you'd want to do, and this doesn't have the most luxurious ride anyway, so unless your roads are smooth, you're gonna feel the bumps. But that's why the 911 exists. It's not meant for ultra comfortable, luxurious rides. This thing is a cornering beast. You can turn this car at speeds that other cars couldn't even dream of. Because of my rear tire situation, I haven't even pushed this car that hard, but the little that I have driven it, I can tell you that this is an absolute blast. This is truly a driver's car, and although there are back seats, I don't really know how anyone can fit in there. I'm gonna try it someday, just not today. But if you can't use the back seats, then turn them into shelves. Use it for storage. You have a center console, but not much will fit in there, and a tiny space for storage in the back. This car comes with the Sport Chrono package. I can see G-forces for those really hard turns, and I have a stopwatch for when I want to launch this thing. Although I have no intentions of launching and racing this thing because this is 11 years old, things are bound to fall apart and break. I'm sure I'm gonna have some of those stories here soon. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna baby this thing either. It's clear that the previous owners enjoyed this thing, put a lot of miles on it. I'm gonna do the same. By pushing this button, you can alternate between normal and sport chassis. There is one issue I found which is pretty funny. Watch this. The windshield wiper fluid in this car is designed to water your neighbor's lawn. When you have 6 owners for a car, you really don't know what you're getting. The fix here, I think, is relatively simple. There's a hose that goes from the windshield wiper tank to the spray nozzle. It probably got worn out over time and one of the owners just didn't do anything about it. Let this be a lesson if you're in the market for one of these. Make sure to check the windshield wiper fluid functioning. Who would have thought anyone would need to check that? Let's make sure all the lights are working. PPI is now officially complete. In my case, I completed the post-purchase inspection, not the pre-purchase inspection. Obviously, a post-purchase inspection is meaningless because you already paid for the thing. Like I said, stupid people do stupid things. All in all though, I think I got pretty lucky because the car itself is pretty solid, it drives good, runs fine, and it's one of the most beautiful and fun cars that I've owned yet. I've really enjoyed owning my Porsche Macan, and if that's any indication of what Porsche ownership means, then I hope this thing delivers as well. And if it doesn't, then I'll sell this thing in some time to one of the many stupid owners like myself waiting in line to buy one of these.